Welcome, everyone, to a special edition of Split Decision Combat Sports. Today we have on former UFC champion, Israel Adesanya. He was kind enough to grace us with an interview. Thank you to my special connection inside the UFC for connecting me with Izzy. I'm very excited to have him on the show. Let's bring him in now. Izzy, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, Idaho. Are we in Australia right now? Are we in Auckland right now?
No, I live in the United States.
United States. I thought we were going to be in Riyadh or something. Abu Dhabi? Australia? Hell, I'd even be in South Africa over the United States. But hey, that's all right because I don't have a lot going on.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I mean, obviously, um, it's been a tough couple fights for you, Izzy. One thing I really respect about you is that you're always honest and forthwith after a loss. You know, you talk to the fans, you're very open. So I guess just how are you feeling after this loss last Saturday?
It's just the thrill and the agony. Trust. One guy's story ends, another begins, and that's facts. If Clone High can come back, so can Israel Adesanya. Because I am the gyno style bender. And you have to respect me for fighting this long, despite my cancer diagnosis on my tits.
Yeah, well, obviously people have a lot of respect for you, Izzy. I don't think anyone is disrespecting you. One thing that I was very curious about, and I wanted to get your thoughts on, is in your pre-fight walkout, um, the announce team was saying that you knew you didn't do the work to beat Dricus du Plessis, and when you were walking out, they had said Izzy's team has responded to that, and they said, "Hey, you know what? We've done the work to beat Imavov." I guess just how does it feel? You know, obviously not having a good camp for the Dricus fight, and you come in to fight Imavov, and you feel like you did all the work necessary, and then you take the loss.
Well, that was edited footage in those training camps. There was the one where I stuffed the takedown and, I got on top of the guy. And then there was the other one where he took me down and everyone was like, oh, Israel Adesanya. And David was making fun of me. Ah! Ah! Oh, you got taken down, man. You got taken. And, I hear that all the time from David sometimes, that fat fuck. But, I was doing really good at stuffing the takedowns of Imavov. I don't know what these people are talking about. I always have the greatest training camp. I always have the best boob injections. I always have a great advantage going into my fight with Imavov. I got cocky. I did too much for the people, and he caught me. And these things happen. I was able to put out Pereira, and I beat that guy one time. And, sometimes the perfect shot just comes. But you know what? I'm going to fight for that belt again. And the thing is about Imavov, well, you can guess for him, it might be exciting to beat a gyno guy like me. I'm a two-time middleweight champion, and you can bet that's the hunted will become the hunter, will become the hunted, will become the hunter again. So, yeah. By the way, my new hunted became the hunter, became the hunted, became the hunter again shirt is available to buy on Freestyle Benda YouTube channel for a limited time. Go get it now and become the Black Dragon.
Well, you heard Izzy himself. He said freestylebender.com. Is that
yes, right, freestylebender. David runs the accounts. He worked with my family ever since the mining days when my mom was trying to become a nurse.
Shout out to David. So I guess moving forward, I mean, what is your next step? You said you want to reclaim the title. What is your next step? How do you bounce back after this loss?
How do I bounce back? Yeah, I may seem like the guy sitting at the bar saying, I beat that guy one time. But once the UFC gives me my rematch with Strickland and I beat DDP after he flatlines Khamzat Chimaev, I'm going to become a double champ when I counter Alex after he beats Magomed with that big counter right hand that I did the last time. And I will be the king of the favelas once more because I am a benevolent ruler. And I know what it's like for those kids living in those slums. While my dad was signing mining contracts and cleaning the bags so my mom could study to become a nurse, I had to take my shoes off. I had to take a night with the people, with the mob. And I got bullied at school once. All those peasants can relate to my story. You do not know my story. You do not know my story. Or Elon Musk's either. Trust.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people can relate to your story, not knowing it. That is something I've been very curious of, though, ever since you've started your career. One time in kickboxing, you mentioned that you were Chinese at heart. You said that you're more Brazilian than Alex Pereira one time. So I guess just like you're Nigerian, but you're obviously born in Auckland. What exactly nationality do you identify as?
I may be black on the outside, but I am whatever country I'm in on the inside. Whenever it benefits my goals, you know that the black dragon, you know that the black camel, you know that the black goat, you know that the black eagle is going to soar. And when he breaks his beak off, that beak grows back. So I'm glad you asked that question. But I also want to talk about nationality. I want to talk about that Mozzie Kiwi, Robert Whitaker. He cost me everything. Trust. I don't care if we sparred that one time. He sabotaged my training camp against Imavov, and I'm glad he ate a jawbreaker courtesy of Hamzat Shimaev that left his title prospects frozen like Elsa. He's gonna.
So that's breaking. So that's breaking news. I haven't heard that. So obviously, you and Robert Whitaker, bitter rivals. Him even saying one time in an interview that he would never be friends with you or hang out with you. So then I saw that awesome moment where you two were actually hanging out on the couch. So I did know that you guys had trained together. But you're saying that he sabotaged your training camp. Would you care to elaborate on that?
Well, I was trying to get into some hard sparring lessons with him, go back and forth, test techniques. But every time I touched him on the chin, he'd go like this. We bounce all over the place, Guy's got a glass jaw. What can I say? Hey, Khamzat Chimaev cracked it in 1 second. Watch. So anytime that I tried to train and really see how we'd go into the nitty gritty in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round, dude was already dead on the canvas, just like Kevin Lee when he eats a right hand. Finally know what Robert Whitaker fits into all this. It's at the cesspool of the middleweight division.
Wow. Okay, so I guess it's safe to say you guys are no longer friends.
Until I need him for another training camp, in which case we're best buddies forever.
Got you.
Better than
okay.
David. Blood brothers, I am blood brothers. I am New Zealander.
Speaking of former friends of yours, I was really curious to get your thoughts on what has Blood Diamond been up to? Because, obviously when he came into the UFC, really hot prospect, a guy that a lot of people were looking for. I mean, the guy's name is Blood Diamond.
Yeah, it's a fantastic name. It reminds me of the diamonds that my father would mine in Nigeria, and he'd leave all the poor people rotting in the sewers. And I'd cry for them.
What has Blood Diamond been up to these days?
Blood Diamond, don't tell anybody, but I hear that he's a late GFL signee. And I'm telling you, he's going to win the whole damn thing in whatever weight division he's in. Whether it's lightweight, featherweight, bantamweight, doesn't matter. That tall motherfucker, he has Nigerian blood. He has African blood. And that African blood is going to take him all the way. How dare they make fun of Ngannou? How dare they make fun of Usman? How dare they make fun of the style bender, Israel Adesanya? And so, just like with Carlos Oberg, just like with that one French guy who's on the card next week, I don't even remember who he
Kevin
is.
Doucet.
Oh, yeah, Kevin Doucet, yeah, Air Jordan. I always wanted to meet Michael Jordan, so now I get Michael Jordan at home every single week. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have what I have and what my family has from everything that they worked for. But the thing about Blood Diamond, he's a lot like me. He's tall, he's lanky, he has all the tools to get it done. He just doesn't know how to move those tools in any way whatsoever, and he looks like a scarecrow in a cornfield. But if with the right amount of push and the right amount of wind, he might just fall onto his opponent and knock him out that way. So I expect him to win over Tony Ferguson. Trust.
Yeah, I'll make sure to cut that from the interview. That you revealed that Mike Bethina is going to be in the GFL. So I just wanted to talk about what do you think Imavov's chances are? Obviously, getting a win over you is a huge statement in the middleweight division. What do you think his chances are? Like, you think he's the next guy up for the belt? What do you see for his future?
I see his future being that hairline keeps receding on his head. And then I also see that he headlines a France card, and then it turns out worse than his fight with Brendan Allen. Because nobody is a box office star on the level of Israel Adesanya. I haven't heard this man speak a word once. Also, check 23andMe, Imavov, check 23andMe. You're a Frenchman, but I will show you where you're from. I will show you where you're from. You're from Dagestan. You're from Russia.
So do you think he has like next champion potential, or what do you think about that?
I think Khamzat Chimaev, I'm going to start hanging out with him like I was Darren Till so that I could get back into the number one contender's position. We're going to be driving around. You know, Kadirov's going to give us a car. We're going to go freewheeling. We're going to run over a few people. And then I'm going to see Khamzat Chimaev take this little squirt Nasruddin Imavov down and choke him out just like he did in Whitaker. He's going to take his head off his shoulders, trust. And then I get the title shot next.
Okay.
And then I'll beat Pereira.
Okay, you're hoping to get a third fight with Alex.
Yes. It's the trilogy everybody wants to see. If we're not going to get Diaz versus McGregor 3, we might as well get Adesanya versus Pereira 3. Everybody wants it, trust.
That's definitely a fight I'm looking forward to. With this, so are you saying you want to go up to 205 to try to challenge Alex for his title next?
No, only after I win the middleweight crown from Khamzat Chimaev when I stab him in the back when he's not looking. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put him in the operating room, and I'm going to reverse the effects that they had on his thyroid, and then he's going to crumble within one round against me. His autoimmune system is going to spontaneously combust in the first round. Trust.
Yeah, obviously has been a concern with his health. So there is a title fight this weekend, and it is between Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland, two former opponents of yours. Obviously, they fought almost a year ago to the day. How do you see that fight playing out?
I don't care about the result of a fight between two crackers trying to say who the fuck I am, who Camaro is, who Francis is. They are the result of colonization. And when I fight both that Brit and that 49er at the same time for the middleweight crown, I will show you where they're from. Check 23andMe. Watch. He is not African. And Sean Strickland is not California. He was raised in Germany in the 1940s. Trust.
Oh, wow. Okay, so who do you think wins that fight?
I think I'm going to take the Robert Whitaker approach. I like him again now that I've referenced something that he said on his podcast. I'm going to spar with him in a week. But I want both of them to just beat the brains out of each other until it's a double knockout. When they both hit each other at the same time, they both fall to the mat, and the referee counts them out. The title becomes vacant, and then Israel Adesanya has no one to fight for the belt. Khamzat is dealing with an infection with food poisoning somewhere, and so I become the champion by default as number 4 contender.
That doesn't make any sense. They would probably just run the fight back, and obviously, and the title wouldn't be vacant at that point. I think the champion would probably retain.
I know, but I'd hang out with Dana White on his yacht playing poker and blackjack and playing card games, and then a deal's going to be struck.
I think that's wishful thinking. I think that the promotion would just do what's best for the promotion. Having just awarding you the champion would be really strange.
They did it to Whitaker after GSP vacated his belt. Robert Whitaker instantly became the middleweight champion by default.
Yeah, but he was interim champion at the time.
Well, I won an interim championship. Can I go to the DMV and reinstall my position as the UFC interim middleweight champion? I beat Kelvin Gastelum, and that guy beat Chris Curtis. That guy's one of the baddest dudes at middleweight. Trust. I think he's somewhere. Actually, he's nowhere in the rankings, but spiritually, he's like 16. He's 17. He's bordering around there. And so I beat the fridge. I beat the refrigerator man.
Well, it's getting a little off track here. Izzy, it's awesome having you on this podcast, but there are some things that we do have to get into. Namely the fact that what do you think about Alex's success in the UFC? Obviously, beating you to become the middleweight champion, you knocking him out in the rematch was one of the best knockouts, and just with the storyline and everything. But him going up to 205, becoming a champion, having this dominant reign so far as the champion. You had once said that he was going to be the guy in the bar, drunk, saying, "Hey," looking up at your fight, saying, "Hey, I beat that guy once." I guess just what do you think about his career, all his success? And I mean, it's starting to seem like, his career is moving in one direction and yours is moving in another.
Well, first of all, in our first fight, I won. Okay. I won that decision. We were in what were we in China at the time? Thailand, Japan,
I don't remember exactly where the fight had taken place, but I do know that Mark
wherever
Goddard.
they were under some sort of military dictatorship, and it was nothing but the military taking control of the events. A lot of hush money under the table. It might as well have been Pride Yakuza 2.0. They gave it to Pereira because they knew that he was going to be the next big star because he was on steroids and he had tattoos. Oh, feel bad for me. Oh, I was a drunk in Brazil. I was a mechanic. And meanwhile, I had to clean the bags while my mom was becoming a nurse. And they still gave it to that drunk Alex Pereira instead. And then I have a really close fight with him. I'm winning that fight. Mark Goddard, early stoppage. Early stoppage from Mark Goddard. I would have gotten right back up, just like I would have done against Imavov. I would have just with my back against Imavov. He would have sprung right off of me like Robert Whitaker when he gets chinned, and then I would have hit him with that big right hand. And then, of course, you saw what the inevitable outcome was. I knocked him out with the right hand, and that undid all the boogeyman shit all the 3 times that he beat me. It's the thing that's most present in people's minds. They're going to be replaying that shit forever. Forever. Trust. And so I feel like Alex Pereira is no match for me. Light heavyweight doesn't matter. The guy doesn't know how to shoot a takedown like Jan Blachowicz. I don't want to be around that Polish jockstrap anymore. I'm going to be taking on Pereira, and I'm going to hit him with that 1-2 combination. And both tits are going to be flaring. You can take that to the bank. I mean, the skin cancer, the breast cancer is going to get worse.
Oh, so you're saying that you have breast cancer?
Yes, I do. And that was part of my tragic backstory. That's what the kids would make fun of me for in school, was for having breast cancer as a little boy. And I would have to deal with their insults all the time. And luckily enough, in China, they were able to cure my breast cancer. Although there are moments that the symptoms do flare, especially during fight week and during times where I have to defend my belt or any other important fight. It tends to flare up due to anxiety and stress. That's what they told me. Trust.
I do trust that.
So and that's what took my Millie away. That's what took my Millie away as well.
Rest in peace, Millie. Speaking of Millie, we have to get into some controversial topics. Izzy, there is a video of you that you had posted yourself. And in this instance, you were actually on the couch with your dog, and you had touched your dog in an inappropriate way. I guess just how do you respond to people basically just calling you a dog toucher?
I was never malicious when taking care of Millie. Pause. I was just doing TikTok challenges to promote my brand. And that's what Millie would have wanted. He would have wanted you to buy the brand new Hunted Has Become the Hunter, Has Become the Hunted, Has Become the Hunter Again t-shirt. Because Millie, she always supported me. It's just like those dog show competitions where the dog wins and then the owner says, well, you know, the dog always wanted this. He always wanted to win this trophy. This was always his dream. It was his dream for Israel Gyno Bender Adesanya to win the middleweight crown and to have all those funny games after I was done with the title fight in celebration of those, you understand. But I was doing TikTok challenges. I wanted to become a successful media star. We were family. Me and Millie were family if that family was born in Alabama. But now that he's in heaven and I can't mouth feed him anymore, I've tried it with David, but it's just not the same. And he's more fat than ever. I tried Willie Time, but I just couldn't find it. I couldn't find it.
I just gotta ask, man. What is your sexual orientation, Izzy?
Well, I can sell this. I'm definitely more straight than that Alex Pereira buster. That guy's always got Pikachu, Pikachu with his little Pokemon in his anime. And if there's one thing I can't stand, it's watching anime. That really makes you look like a dork. And Alex Pereira always being given these gift trolling on social media. Oh, this is Volkanovski. Hey, look, it's Volkanovski. He's always trying to make fun in games and trying to be some social media star. And I'm against capitalism. I'm against social media celebrity.
I've seen you walk out with an Akatsuki outfit before.
That's true. But that was because I learned from my great Chinese master, Shishou Shufeng. And he taught me a lot about the martial arts and about the Chinese culture and the people that I really enjoyed, and that I want to have a house there one day. I want to have a property there and at any other place where I fight, because I have the money to buy a bunch of shitty fast food during my fight reactions.
There was one moment where your coach, Eugene Behrman, he had mentioned, I remember early on in your career, I remember this. He had mentioned that you had pulled up to the gym in a McLaren, and he had kind of condemned you for that. Like, I guess your spending habits. When some of the guys at the gym, didn't even have a car. So I guess, how do you balance, having all this money with the training, and did that kind of result in your loss on Saturday?
Well, let me say this. If I was never in the UFC, you wouldn't even know the name Eugene Behrman. He'd be Bear, man, because there would be no Israel Adesanya. And you see how that's gone with all his other prospects. Dan Hooker is his most successful fighter right now at City Kickboxing. That gym would not be anywhere if it were Carlos Solberg. Yeah, with Volkan No Time Ozdemir just kicked his ass in his last fight. The only man that is important right now is Israel Adesanya, because I'm the one bringing in the big bunks, and Sean O'Malley wishes he could be like me. I don't even have to have hair dye for people to like me. I don't have to look like a clown, like Sean Strickland.
Yeah, classic dodging of the questions, Izzy. You didn't answer us if if you're actually gay or not. You didn't really respond to the bestiality allegations.
It was love at first sight.
All right, that's really weird.
Brotherly love.
Yeah. Okay. So here in 12 months, where is Israel Adesanya as far as the rankings go? Is he champion? I guess, like, if you had to guess, like, who is your next opponent? Kind of a loaded question.
What did I just say before? I'm gonna get the Strickland rematch because he's inevitably gonna lose to Dricus du Plessis. That chin's gonna be gone, just like it was after Alex Pereira. And then next thing you know, I'm the size of a house. And the way that you're looking at my torso, I might as well have a bunch of kids that I have to breastfeed in order for them to become great children of their and adults of their own. They need their mother's milk. You understand? And I'm going to have that mother's milk against Sean Strickland. Next thing you know, first round KO, knee up the middle. And then I do the and then I hump him like a dog. I do it doggy style.
Yeah,
as I often do at home. And then let me tell you one more thing. Let me tell you something about my career, my future. I'm never going to retire, and that's facts. I'm a young, boyish, 35-year-old man. And as long as I have enough treatment for my tumors, I'll be in this game till the wheels fall off like chitty chitty bang bang. Trust. If the GFL calls, I will run it back with Brunson, though.
Yeah, that would be a good fight, I guess. That's all the time we have with you. Is there anything else you want to say to, like, our fans, UFC fans, or anything else you want to get off your chest? No pun intended.
No, I think that was a pun intended. I think you said that on purpose. I think you're bringing up my cancer diagnosis that I had since I was a child. Listen, I can relate to the kids in the favela, and one of those kids in the favela was Charles du Bronx Oliveira, and all the terrible illnesses he had to suffer through in his childhood. I had cancer. He had some sort of autoimmune disease. Mine's worse than his, okay? You actually touched the subject there. Because I do this for my family, for the people I love, and I'll fight for them forever. Put on your ears, Idaho Potato Head, because I can cry and still whoop your ass at the same time. My sensei Shifu, Yusin Xuan, and Mohammed bin Salman told me to remain calm under pressure and be a man of peace. But I'm going to kill your dreams, Pumpkin. I'm going to kill your dreams.
Wow. All right. Well, there was Israel Adesanya. Interesting interview. I guess we'll see if we get some backlash for this one. But yeah, that was our Israel Adesanya interview. If you guys want to see any other guests on the show, let us know. And yeah, thank you, Izzy. I guess, even though he walked away.
I never had servants. I never, ever had servants, okay? I bathed myself once I was 9 years old. Most people aren't even able to do that at 13 years old, okay? I just
All right.
can't get behind certain areas.
Right. Oh God. What the fuck are we doing on this channel?